Welcome back to the More to Us podcast. We're here to do House of the Dragon review. So, on a scale of 1 to 10,
I'll just come out and say fantastic series.
I would agree. On a scale of 1 to 10, I was gonna go 9. We talked about this. Went back to 8.5 just because I have my own little personal issue that I'll go over in a moment. What are you thinking though?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
On a scale of 1 to 10,
I'll give it a 9. Solid 9.
I can understand that. That's a
Are you coming in something similar?
Well, I just went. I was gonna go the 9. We talked about that beforehand, and I came in at the 8.5 because of my one individual point that took it down a half a point.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
You want to unleash now? You can unleash now.
No, it's fine. Let's give our overall takes first. Let's give
Okay.
our overall takes, and then we'll. I mean, it's a lot faster pace.
It is. I mean, Game of
Lot
Thrones, you had to
quicker.
wait
Yes.
4 seasons before anything felt like it was coming together. At the end of this season, first season, season 1, felt like season 2 shit's about to go down.
Right. And I think one thing they did better was a great job of keeping pace, but also laying the groundwork for more later.
It's crazy the pace that they were able to maintain because there was time jumps, changing characters, main characters, and it did feel pretty natural for the most part.
That's very true. And then one of the things that I really liked was just the way that they gave us dragons right away this time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
There's a
we can be
lot of
honest.
dragons.
Yes,
A lot
lots
of dragons.
of
Dragon riding.
dragon fire. So I mean, it was
Kind of high speed chase dragon scenes. It's crazy.
you big dragons, little dragons,
Dragon eggs.
dragons, and in my opinion, they did set it up for a terrific season 2. They gave us. I wish I could have got a little bit more. Wish I could have got a little
Give me
bit
12
more.
seasons. I'll take 12. 12's a good amount. 10 just feels like you're...
Episodes.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking episodes.
You said seasons.
12 episodes season. Sorry. But 12 feels fulfilling. 10 feels like could have had 2 more.
I definitely, I agree with that a lot. That's a good point. They could have done a lot more with 2 episodes.
Because modern day TV's done away with the 24 episode seasons. One of my favorite TV shows of all time, 24. 24 episodes every single season except the very last one. But that's a lot of TV. And there's a lot of filler episodes. Game of Thrones, they do a good Game of Thrones House of the Dragon. They do a good job cutting that out. But almost to a fault. Because it's so good, you just want more.
And the thing is like the cliffhanger we were left with felt like it easily could have been a mid-season cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Also, could you imagine how crazy it would be if they said 10 episode season and gave us 12? Oh,
Just this
you'd
Sunday
be the
night.
goated.
This Sunday night Game of Thrones is on. Or
Yeah.
House of the Dragon is on. I keep doing that.
they do a lot better job, in my opinion, of giving you what we wanted, a lot of what we wanted in Game of Thrones, but not overdoing it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they listen to the fans.
Right. Just wish they would have given us 12 episodes.
Yeah, me too.
That is a great point because I feel like 2 more episodes would have. You're moving the football, but it's like you're not scoring it.
Mm-hmm.
You still got a lot to give us in the second season. It feels like you're kind of being greedy with the storyline when you go 10 episodes sometimes.
Milking it.
Yeah, because then you're forcing us to wait because you don't want to give us too much. But
I will say this, though. As fast-paced as it was, they still did a great job developing the characters and the storylines because I was attached to young Rhaenyra. And the transition from young Rhaenyra to, I don't want to say modern day, but older Rhaenyra,
yeah,
it was great. I mean, it took me about 10 minutes to get used to her.
one
I was cool with it. The actress they got to play older version, she's great.
one thing I think about is they. I guess they didn't give us the characters that we grew to hate. I don't see that yet.
I think Eamon, he's
Yeah,
making his way
but like
towards that.
Joffrey was already there by the end of the first season.
Joffrey was a little dweeb.
He was.
Everybody,
but
yeah.
You can't say you didn't hate Joffrey.
No,
You like?
I did.
You
No,
like,
nobody.
You
no.
felt neutral about him. Yeah, the kid. I mean,
I don't like Allison.
the big ups to the kid who played him. I don't remember what his name is off the top of my head, but that was fantastic acting on his part.
I find it hard to believe that he's just able to channel that. He has to be actually crazy.
Some people are just that good.
I'm sure
Some people are just
that's
that
true.
good.
That's true.
And that's a kid, so they have the ability of imagination that some adults
Still
like,
able to throw a
as an
tantrum.
adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Joffrey threw a lot of tantrums.
But I mean, I don't feel like you have the characters to hate. I feel like they gave you. I mean, we can talk about a character that we severely disliked coming in. Spoilers coming, by the way. Lots of spoilers coming.
Yeah, we gave
in
you
this.
our ratings. Haven't spoiled anything.
Yeah.
There'll be a couple spoilers. If you're watching a season review, a 30, 40 minute breakdown.
Here's your point to get
What are you
out
doing?
if you
Yeah.
just want to watch. If you just wanted to know, like, what do people think about it overall? See your way out if you haven't seen anything. If you haven't seen everything, I can't promise this will all be in order.
Go watch it. Come back. Let us know what you think.
Yes, true. But spoilers ahead. So one of the characters that we despised almost, Kristen Cole.
Oh, dude, I thought you were gonna say Allison. Kristen Cole is.
We'll get into
He's
Allison
weak,
in a minute.
man. He's weak. Kristen Cole's a beta.
Wow, I don't. that.
He's soft. That's what I mean when I say that.
So one of my problems with Kristen is what happened was like, I don't understand. Like, first of all, keep your mouth shut in situations. Don't say anything. Right? He just gave it up. He didn't even know what she was talking about. She was talking about something totally different.
You're referring to when he ratted himself out to
Yes.
Allison? Yeah.
Yes, he ratted himself out. And if he had played that differently, right? Like, lying's not good, okay? But we're adults.
He doesn't have to say, it's not a lie if you don't say
and this
anything.
is a story. This is a story, so it's not even lying. This whole thing is fictional. If you're reading this, it was a lie in the beginning. But if he just stays quiet or doesn't admit to anything, right? Like, just, there's a difference between lying and omitting certain facts and playing innocent, playing dumb. Like, what? Make him spell it out sometimes. I don't know. But my point being, you just flip-flopped. Just flip-flop like that.
Oh, he switched sides real quick.
It's very fast.
He had a thing for Rhaenyra, and now he has a thing for Allison.
Right. And
I thought he was running away. What happened to that?
yeah. First of all, he wants to go live this basic life with Rhaenyra, and then
Kristen Cole's weak, man.
and like the thing is like so far all I've really seen him do is like he hasn't really done much. You know what I'm saying, in the way of like earning the respect from battling other people in the show.
What's he done? What's he done other than beat Daemon?
Also,
First episode.
not much.
Nothing.
Pick on Rhaenyra's child.
That was fucked up. That was fucked up.
He does sword fight with what's his face towards the
Aemon,
end.
right? Didn't Aemon beat him?
No,
When
I'm
they were
talking
sparring-
about-
when
I'm
they were
talking about-
sparring,
Well,
but-
he was going easy, but
Was he?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's the take I had on it. But I'm talking about when
I
they
think
go
that was
to
foreshadowing
when
something.
they go to get. All right, when they go to get Aegon, and they're battling in front of like the church or whatever. When Sir Eric.
Okay. Yeah.
So he fights there, but I mean the thing is like he hasn't proven himself, right? He was just like one of the only people that had actually been battle tested, and Rhaenyra picked him, took him from the ranks of being some lowly lord or whatever he was, and she upped his rank, gave him super social status, and then he switches sides, right?
Do you think there's any possibility that Kristen Cole wants to come back to Rhaenyra's side in the future?
I mean, he definitely does.
He still loves
A
Rhaenyra. deep
hater
down.
is just a
I
fan
promise
in denial.
you. Yep.
That's all Kristen Cole is, right?
I like that.
I mean, I just see him as being one of those guys that's like, he's mad because he couldn't get the girl, right? Like, she was
That's
like,
what- that's
no,
what
I
it's
want my
come across
lifestyle, and he was like, it's like, dog, she's a princess.
Yeah.
You want her to run away from being a princess?
To be a
Do you know-
peasant.
people will kill to be royalty, and you want her to walk away from that to be a farmer?
It's because he's got that
That was
chastity belt.
definitely a long shot, and I see. The thing was, is you hated Jamie first season. You hated Joffrey first season, right? I just don't feel like there's those characters that you really hate. Aemon, yeah, but they make him,
Entertaining. You want to see him.
I mean, the thing is like, he's a kid.
No one likes Cersei's.
Joffrey was just a royal SOB.
Yep.
Aemon just feels like, he's a kid adjusting to what's going on, and he has feelings and he's expressing them, whereas Joffrey was just like, off with Ned Stark's head.
Joffrey was just abusing his power.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like that with Aemon.
But yeah, no, I'll
it
agree.
feels like he's actually trying to establish himself as like what what Joffrey felt like he was. Aemon feels like he's trying to establish himself as.
Yeah.
Like
Aemon's obviously very jealous that his brother,
yes,
Aegon, right?
Yeah,
is getting the throne. Spoiler alert. Spoiler missed alert, but salty about that. He's obviously jealous. Aegon wanted nothing to do with it.
right.
Aemon will be a good character to watch out for moving on. But yeah, no real villains. Otto Hightower, sure, he's a snake. I don't like him, but the hatred isn't there.
Yeah, I mean, his motives are pure to a degree. You know what I mean? Like, the guy's not really like. He still kind of wants what's best for the kingdom, but he also wants what's best for like his version of the kingdom.
Exactly.
And so, like, I once again, I understand where he's coming from, and it's a little. Well, let's move on to Alicent, because she was one of the first that we kind of turned on. But here's my thing: it's like Alicent.
He molded her.
Alicent, like, you just went and did what your dad said, and then you blamed it on him.
She's playing the game.
You blamed it on him. You're like, you knew what he was sending you to Viserys' room in the middle of the night to read a book to the old man. Come on. Like, you knew what the game was. And now you're mad because you have to make tough decisions. Like, she doesn't like the blood being on her hand. Lord Larys, I believe is his name. The guy that helps her with the bad foot.
Well, yep.
He's
I don't know if
dislikable, but it's also like he feels like Tyrion, but like if Tyrion didn't want, like, Tyrion wasn't power hungry. Lord Larys seems power hungry. So like I don't hate him the way I hated some of the characters Game of Thrones season 1, but it's like his, other than, burning down his family's home. I mean, which is arguably messed up, but it doesn't seem like his family treated him that well. So I can kind of understand it. If Tyrion snapped, like, I didn't have a problem with Tyrion killing Tywin. What Tywin did was messed up. Send his son to the Night Watch. Oh, you feel different.
Hey, Otto Hightower is who to the king?
Hand of the King.
Mm-hmm. Alicent is the feet.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Except I feel like the feet have a little bit more say in where you go
You know why.
In this case, the hands just pointing the feet.
You know why.
You go this
You
way.
know why it's the feet.
Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Okay, that's clever. But yeah, no, I don't really like Lord Larys, but
He's
I don't
creepy,
hate him.
Yeah.
I don't hate him. He seems creepy. But I mean, this is a show that frequently has incest, so
I don't want to touch on that, but it does.
his little foot thing. Yeah, it's weird, but I feel like it's halfway to some of the other stuff that's happened in the show. But I mean, if I don't like Alicent a little bit more than I don't like Otto, because like Alicent likes to play innocent. At least Otto is like honest about what he's doing.
Alicent's problem is that she will ask someone to do something for her, and then be upset about the results.
Right.
Don't play the game. Don't play the game. What about we haven't talked about the king.
I like the king. I'm not gonna lie.
I liked him a lot, man. He reminded me of Ned Stark in the way. I mean, obviously, the fact that he's very likable dies off after one season, but kind of seemed to be the. I don't know how to say it, but he kept the peace.
Yeah.
Or tried to.
Definitely. I mean, it's one of those times that like his character had one of those unfortunate positions in the storyline.
He never wanted to be king.
Well, and the thing is like a good king doesn't like.
Maybe he wanted to. I can't remember, but he didn't seem to enjoy it.
Like people always praise kings of like wars and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the best kings rule in times of peace. But you don't have those indelible moments.
What was his name? King Viserys the Peaceful?
Right. Not Aegon the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Which is but the thing is I'm interested to see, because he was obviously blind to what was going on. Well, not blind, willingly blind. He was willingly blind to what was going on.
Are we talking about Viserys with Rhaenyra and her children?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was willingly blind to what was going on, and that kind of it didn't upset me, but like it definitely was one of those moments where I thought, like this has to be like horrible for him, and like kind of made me hate him. Not hate him. I have a strong dislike.
I respected him for it. He was put his family first, but it was kind of like, if we call this out, the consequences are severe. I think it was better. He made the right decision.
Yes, but at that point he had already had a firstborn son, so it was different. He could have easily passed it to him. He chose to keep Rhaenyra, which arguably was going to end up bad. He was keeping peace during his time.
But he believes in what is it, the Song of Fire and Ice?
Right. Which
keeps him up at night.
It was funny. Words. It's funny because he definitely altered the entire course. Like his decision, even more than his grandfather's or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
His decision arguably impacted the entire kingdom more than his decision did. And I mean, it's kind of crazy to think like how that impact led to Game of Thrones.
I kind of have a side tangent. Do they never innovate anything in the world of Game of Thrones? It feels like it is the same exact time period as Game of Thrones.
Well, I mean, it's only like
200 years. You go back 200 years ago.
It was 200 years. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought it was 100. I told somebody it was 100.
I believe today. it's 200 years before Daenerys Targaryen's birth, in 170 something years before Game of Thrones.
So the
But yeah.
I liked Viserys, but his being willfully blind to the issue at hand. I mean, you can't do that.
The peaceful. He did what he had to do. But that man also had one of the most iconic scenes you will ever see in any TV show. Towards the end of season 1, he comes in. I don't want to give too much away. We're not speaking to an audience who hasn't seen it. Comes in with his cane after being bedridden for days, weeks, months, I don't know, terrible health. Gets off the milk of the poppy, comes in, makes a fucking statement.
Comes in and he really, it was a surprise kind of. It came out of nowhere, and
I was up out of my chair.
It was a show of strength from the king that I honestly don't think that any of us really expected.
I didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah, I mean,
but that goes to show you what they were doing to him.
Right. I mean, and then I think I don't want to give too much away, but I think that some of the plots being made in this, like, I'm trying to think of how to word this without trying to give too much away. I don't want to discuss everything, but some of the plots in there, you know, and I can't think of how to word it without giving too much away.
But yeah, King V was a G. King V was a G. Also, one thing I wanted to throw out here. In the very last episode, the season finale.
Leave now if you haven't seen the season finale.
Yep.
We're discussing specifically that.
Aemon's eye patch comes off.
That was crazy.
It's crazy. Did you see his eye? See his eye?
Yeah.
He had that blue little diamond crystal.
Yeah. I can't remember what
Aemon is the Ice King.
Is that so?
I'm calling it now.
No, because they were part of the first men. No.
Why not?
Because they were part of the first men. The Ice King and his crew, remember? Because like they were protectors of the.
Look at the Ice King's eyes, and look at Daemon's eye.
I know. You're. Do you not remember when?
I don't remember. How do you become a White Walker?
It was because they shoved the obsidian, or the dragon's glass, into the chest of the first men. Remember? The little.
I need to rewatch, apparently, but I'm gonna stick with that take. Somehow, some way, it's gonna happen.
Okay. Well, it's not true. I'm gonna let you know that right now. But yes, it was crazy when he pulled off the eye patch. Let's talk about the incident.
But real quick, they had to do it for a reason. Give him that blue eye to spark that resemblance. There has to be a reason for it. Why would he have a gem in his eye? Why would it be the same exact color? Why does he kind of look like the Ice King?
I don't know, but he's not the Ice King.
Okay. Go on, though.
So, you have... I mean, I guess he could be, but it doesn't really make sense.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Because then...
I need to refresh myself on the actual story behind the Ice King.
Because now you have me doubting myself. But, anyways... It definitely... This season... with the season finale being the way it was... Aemon's part... Then you have... Well, let's just be honest. The incident. The international incident is what I'm going to call it.
Like we said, we have big dragons and we have small dragons. What happens when a big dragon and a small dragon play?
So, like...
The big dragon eats the small dragon in one gulp.
I was upset because it's like, why did your dragon go attack it? You were kind of away. You had kind of ran away.
They don't have control of their dragons. I don't know.
Right, but your dragon's an idiot. Come on, your
I want
dragon's
to
that
see. I
dumb.
want to see how big this dragon Damon is. What's that called when
Yeah.
you get a dragon?
Well, it was just it didn't have a rider.
Yeah. So Damon is now. It looked like a pretty big dragon.
I think he has 2 dragons now.
He does. But it
So
looked
that's
like
pretty
Damon
cool.
was claiming another dragon. I wonder how big it is compared to Aemon's dragon. I'm sure the answer's out there. I'm sure I can get online and find out, but I want to see it with my eyes.
I'm gonna guess they're about the same size, but I did kind of think his earlier dragon was too small for him. I was like, this is all he has, because his wife, her dragon was huge, and I didn't understand
Aemon took
why
it.
his
Aemon
was
took
so.
it.
I know.
Wait.
Also, hold on. Damon is gonna go insane. Like, he's just gonna go nuts. We're getting all out action next season. If season 2 is not up to par with what I want, okay, because you guys kind of left me hanging. This is what I was talking about earlier in the video when I said I wanted a little bit more. Okay. The ending. I wanted to know where we were going.
It was a good ending, but yeah, I thought there was going to be something that really made my jaw drop.
Because if she pulls up,
Rhaenyra.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
if she just
That's what I thought.
this-
Rhaenyra was pulling up to King's Landing. And
Oh,
doing
I mean
something.
pulling the reins up. Like if she slows and she's
Oh,
like, all right,
like,
we need
we're
to
on our
maybe
way.
forgive this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be upset. If we don't have all out action next season.
Do not backtrack. If they backtrack everything the finale hyped up.
Yeah, right.
I hate when shows do that. It'll be all within the very first episode of the next season, and it's done in 20 minutes. Like, oh, that was easy.
Right.
You only made me watch 10 episodes leading up to this just for me to wait 2 years for you to release the next season to resolve it in 10 to 20 minutes, just so you can start on your new plot to which you're going to do the same exact thing with.
Exactly.
Yep.
You could have see, that's why with 2 more episodes, we end up at the start of, like, let's have a big battle. Like, the start of the big battle, you give me that?
Yeah.
Because you can do that with 2 more episodes. You were totally right. I hadn't thought about that, really. You do those 2 more episodes, we end up there. Right? Right. I don't know where we are. But we're
Big
setting
battle.
the scene.
Somebody's about to die.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Season over.
Maybe shots start getting fired. Maybe we see a little bit of dragon fire. And then cut.
That's yeah.
Well, who knows?
Completely agree.
But we didn't get that. Instead, we got her turning around, to which they could easily pull the reins back and slow us up. And then I waited X amount of time to see absolutely nothing.
But hey, be on our lookout for the season 1 review in 2024. It's coming.
Don't clickbait me. Don't clickbait me, House of Dragons. Don't clickbait me.
Like
that's
we're about to
what that
clickbait you guys into watching this. This is good content. So tune in.
I feel like this was an honest review.
This was good. This
feel
was a
like
good
this is
review.
it.
9 out of
I
10.
offered critique.
Are you going
I mean,
with 8.5?
I'm going with 8.5.
Okay, 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10.
I don't think I've addressed my point though. Here,
Yeah, go ahead. Here we go. To end it. Yeah, to send us off.
So I noticed this about Rhaenyra's kids. So you have Viserys with Alicent. They have white-haired kids. Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark make a black-haired child. Clearly meaning that somehow, some way, her kids in the House of Dragon timeline should have white hair because they only need one white-haired parent. It's the dominant trait. But that's not the case. That's not the case. And they've set this trend with the Baratheons being, in the first season of Game of Thrones, they discover that Joffrey is not Robert Baratheon's son because he has blonde hair.
Jamie.
The recessive trait. So those light hairs are the recessive trait, which makes you question, because one of the two is wrong. Either Viserys' kids should not have white hair, or Rhaenyra's kids should have white hair. It's one way or the other. And the thing is, they've already set the trend through Jon Snow that it's not that way, right? That it's now that her kid should have white hair
because it's the
that
mother.
Viserys' kid
right?
should not.
Because it's the mother's hair.
No, it's just dark hair is the dominant trait, just like it is in the real world.
But if Jon Snow is a Targaryen,
yeah, he's a Targaryen with black hair because he mated.
Okay,
Rhaegar
which
Targaryen
makes
mated
sense.
with
Which makes
Lyanna
sense.
Stark, who had brown hair.
Okay.
Somehow they ended up with a black-haired child, which doesn't really make sense because black hair would be the ultimate dominant trait, basically. But this isn't a review of Game of Thrones genealogy. This is House of Dragons. Which the unfortunate part is it doesn't make sense, which is why I was gonna give it a 9.
I had him at a 9. We had him at a 9, and he remembered this thought. Half a point loss. Sorry, House of the Dragon. Better luck next season. Explain it, and it'll be a 9.
Yeah.
It'll be 9. If you explain it in the next season, it'll be a 9. But
I'm excited for season 2. I definitely think this big thing.
I wish it wasn't a year and a half wait, but excited to see it for whenever it does come out.
Yes,
I'll be watching.
Definitely. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This was the More to Us podcast. See you guys later.